Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Poison Nakami here. Me, myself, and I back at it again with another video, and today I'm going to list you my top 5 things I'd like to see in Naruto Storm Connections. A wish list, if you will. So the first thing I'd like to see, which is a pretty obvious one, which I know CC2 would have worked on, is a new mechanic. Every new Storm game, there's going to be a new mechanic. Now, previously, I've mentioned a new support type. So, like, you know, new support combo type or new support jutsu types or something. Or maybe just altogether replacing ninja tools with a whole new mechanic of new jutsus for all the characters. That would be a really cool idea. But we just want to see something new mechanic. Like I said, I'm heavily leaning on just replacing the ninja tools on the D-pad just to more jutsus for the characters. I want to see Ino with more mind transfer techniques. I want to see more shadow stitching jutsus or whatever from Shikamaru. You know, I want to see more different types of fire style jutsus from the fire style users like new Uchihas. I want to see Sasuke do more lightning type stuff other than Chidori. Like, I feel like there's more lightning style jutsus we could be seeing. You know, the fact that we could have Kakashi have all of his jutsus in one go, like his water dragon, the mud ball, the fireball, all just attached to a D-pad, and then his main jutsu, his triangle circle, being a Raikuri would be a very strong idea, and I'd love to see that. Because it's kind of hard to tell, like, it's kind of hard to say what new mechanic CC2 could add into the next Storm game. I feel like they've kind of done it all with the relay thing, and then instant awakening and leader switching. Like, they've done really good work with these new mechanics over the years, but that is my first thing on the wish list, is a new mechanic and the examples I've just listed. Coming in at number 2, I think this is a very obvious one, but more characters. Now, with it being connections, and with everything that Sanju's been saying on Twitter, connections is being used a lot, and how he is talking about it just makes it sound like that a lot of the old Storm games and all of its features are still going to be quite relevant with this new title, which tells me that a lot of the old characters, or if not all of the new old characters that we currently have, actually, let me rephrase this. All the characters that we currently have in Storm 4 should make its way into Storm Connections. If that is the case, then I'd like to see all of those guys, plus all the characters we have been asking for and missing over the years, aka Kurenai, Koretsuchi, Akatsuchi, Ao, C, you know, those guys, Shizune, oh, I'd love to play a Shizune, Anko, so, you know, all those guys, and then plus we get new characters, because now we're in the Boruto era with anything like new, like Naruto, like, related. You'd like to see more, you know, Boruto characters, so like Inojin, Metal Lee, Ishiki, Kawaki, you know, a lot of those characters, you know, like Jigen, any of the characters that were featured in Boruto, I'd like to see them playable, as well as all the old ones. As it's connections, it's connecting everything together, right? I feel like a title like Connections would be something really huge. So, more characters in that regard. I want to see all of those guys sort of pop up. That would be really huge. The next thing on the wish list is improved netcode for good online stability. Now, everybody is constantly complaining on the netcode. I personally feel like where it is at right now is okay, is not bad, and compared to some games, it could be a lot worse. However, I quite liked how My Hero did it. My Hero, like, I was playing against Japanese players when I had the Japanese copy of the game and it wasn't released in Europe yet. And I was on those leaderboards, and I was climbing just fine. Like, there wasn't a massive delay or anything, and the fight was absolutely perfectly fine. I don't know what My Hero did that was so well, but if they implement that in Storm, I reckon that could work. But, I don't know. As time's going by and there's better internet in places, and we're on the PS5 now, obviously not forgetting the Xbox and the PC, of course, there could be room for better, like, netcode for this game that could be used online. I don't know if CC2 are capable of changing the netcode or whatever, or what technology or things they have that could change it, but obviously one that everybody would ask for, and I know that Mr. Air Force gets asked this a lot whenever he gets asked what he wants to see in the next Storm game. It's just improved netcode. We all just want to play against everybody with good online connectivity. I'd really love to play against the Japanese players and players in Brazil and Australia, but it's just not doable right now with me being in the UK and then being so far across. Obviously, the connection that we have right now is based on location and distance, so I find that me playing against East Coast America works quite well because, well, East Coast is a lot closer to me geographically. However, the West Coast America, since they're much further away from me, there is a bigger delay between me and West Coast players than there is with me versus East Coast players. Hence why myself and Plico have really good matches, because he is East Coast. So a good netcode or whatever, or a netcode that just allows everybody to play everyone, like, in all countries would be really well. It'd be nice to play more people other than just the Middle East, Europe, and NA players. I'd like to, and that way we'd be able to include more countries and more, like, communities, like Storm communities in. I feel like maybe like the Asia scenes die off because they're not able to be included too well into like the rest of the Storm scene, like the Western Storm scene. And obviously the Western Storm scene, North America and Europe being the two largest of Naruto Storm, that leaves out quite a lot of other regions. Middle Eastern players just managed to make their way in with their connections, but still, like, Middle East to NA aren't doing too good. But you know, it'd be nice just to include everybody and have, like, I don't know, start seeing more Korean players and Japanese players and then Brazilian players and things like that, Australian players. That would be really nice to see that too. My next thing on this wish list is publisher-funded competitive scenery/events. Now, what I mean by publisher-funded is stuff that Bandai could do, and they could work together with events like ESL or EVO or whatever to do tournaments. Now, Bandai wouldn't be far into this because they've already done a Season 1 tournament of Naruto Storm 4. So maybe they could do a Storm Connections Season 1, or maybe Storm Connections would be their Season 2. Now, I do remember having a little discussion with Bandai in a comment section of a YouTube video somewhere, and they did say that they'd hope to see me at a Season 2 of a future Storm 4 event, which I don't think is going to happen now because we're all talking about connections. It doesn't make sense for them to do to work with ESL for a Season 2 Storm 4 event. Although if they did do that, it would be huge and a bunch of people would show up, that's for sure. I would like to see more publisher-funded competitive sceneries and events, or if it's not even publisher-funded, I would just like to see more of a bigger competitive scene for Storm Connections. Now, that obviously that is up to publishers, that is up to organizations like ESL and EVO and things like that. And not only that, but like I've said in one of my previous videos in my serious message to Storm players, that is up to us as a community for, you know, implementing good behavior, prize pools, equipment, just a good scenery, good sportsmanship, everything that everybody wants to see in an esport. That is also up to us, the people that it revolves around. So, but hey, if Bandai and ESL were to throw in some contributions to that, that would be really huge for Storm Connections. Obviously, have the game get released first. Give us some time, like a month, maybe 2 months, just to play the game and get a good feel for it, understand it, find a meta, or maybe get like a patch that get rolled out or whatever, and then maybe start doing some publisher events. That would be absolutely huge, and I think everybody would really enjoy that. And then the next and final thing I asked for is just some online content and online mode fixes/content. So this is my fifth and final answer, and this is going to be quite an in-depth one, but I'll try and shorten it if I can. So altogether, I want to replace the League game mode in Naruto Storm into something that's named Battle Arena, or a lobby where everybody can hang out. It can be anywhere between like 8 to 12 or 16 players can all sit in a lobby. And basically, I want it where people can just fight at multiple times. So you can sit in this like a little bracket or whatever, and then 2 people can fight each other, and then it'll be like another space where another 2 people fight, and then there could be like 2 matches going on at the same time. And you can either just challenge people in this lobby and then fight at the same time as other fights going on, and then people that are also in the lobby can just choose to watch a match or watch a different match or something, just spectate random matches. I feel like this would be really cool to do. I feel like it's like a new concept in a fighting game, or like an arena fighter or whatever. I feel like that's quite a lot of mechanics to introduce into a lobby, and I know I'm asking a lot. Endless mode is good, and we do use endless mode a lot to hang out in, but I feel like having a new lobby style where multiple people can fight each other at different times, and you can spectate literally any match you want at whenever. You can just leave the spectating or join the spectating would be really good. I feel like we wouldn't have to then keep using PlayStation's party software to keep doing that, and we don't have to keep separating into separate player matches all the time to fight people. We can all just sit in one big lobby, and then friends can just rotate between each other as and when. I feel like this would be really good. I reckon it would just be a good replacement for the League game mode, because let's be real, no one actually plays League at all. Like, that game mode is pretty dead in Storm. If you look in everybody's records, nobody has a big win streak for League because no one plays it. And if you search for League matches these days, you won't find any, because again, it's dead. So yeah, scratch that. Another small thing I want to see back is bringing back naming lobbies. Back in Generations, you can name your lobby whatever you wanted it to be. This was also huge for King Goku back in the day, because he'd name his lobby, he'd put YouTube in the title, then everybody would try to flock into the lobby, and it was a good time. I feel like bringing something like this back would be really useful in terms of searching for lobbies, because when Connections comes out, there's going to be a bunch of people coming into the game. There's going to be a lot of lobbies popping up, and if you're trying to find something in particular, I feel like naming your lobby would be good. Obviously, one thing that CC2 could do is just censoring curse words, or having like a list of banned words that cannot be in a lobby. I feel like that would be very useful. And then another thing for the online mode is just a punishment system for ranked. I feel like we've been asking this for many years, and CC2 has not come in with it at all. Their answer for our punishment system is just listing the amount of disconnects that are on records, but I feel like that's not enough because people just ignore it and still rage quit anyway, and they do hit the cap of 255 rage quits. So if anybody at CC2 or Bandai watching this video, one thing I'd like to just say is just include a better punishment system for ranked, and you can include a better punishment system for ranked by deducting BP, but not just a certain amount of BP, like a losses amount. I'm talking 3 times, maybe 2 times the amount of BP they would usually if they were to lose. So say that they lost and they lost 150 BP or something, or 1000 BP, or it depends how your BP scaling system works. Then if it's like 1000 BP they would have lost, make it 2000, 3000 BP they would lose. Make it double or make it even more. Make it more than a loss is worth. That way, people are less likely to rage quit because they know that when they rage quit, they're going to be going down twice as hard or even 3 times as hard as they would be rage quitting or even just like losing in general. It would allow people to lose a lot easier in their matches and play out the matches and fight the matches rather than just wanting to leave. There has to be a reason to stop it, or if deducting BP isn't a good idea, just do like a temporary ban or a timeout. So do like a half-hour timeout, hour timeout, a day timeout, a week timeout. You can extend it depending on how much they rage quit. That way, it takes that player out of the climbing the leaderboard scene for a while. And yes, they can create new accounts, but the thing is, those people that create new accounts will just stay at the bottom rank forever because they're going to keep rage quitting all the time, and they won't have effect in the middle and the higher ranks. And I feel like this would be very useful for like the game's algorithm in terms of like climbing the leaderboard and ranked. And that is everything for my wish list for Storm connections. I'm sure a lot of you do agree with me when it comes to the improved netcode and the punishment system for ranked. However, I do want to hear a lot of your ideas on what you guys think should be implemented. Be sure to tell me about it all in the comment section. And like I said, if CC2 and Bandai are checking out this video, they probably will read your comments as well and maybe consider something. Anyways, it's been your boy Poison Akami. As always, Janet.